Yo guys, Don't Blink 97 coming back here with another tank review, and this time also first impressions video of this time the Fcm-50t. This is a tier 8 French heavy tank. And I know what you may be thinking, yeah, it is massive, but this sort of resembles more of a medium. It looks like it has some nice gun depression, and the gun looks fairly big as well. And you know what? This plays just like a medium. Playing this thing like a heavy will usually result in your end because the turret is cheese and the whole armor is okay, not great though. I'd compare it to a VK-4502A. But before we get into my opinions on the tank, let's go ahead and start going over the stats. So going into the packages, this thing has a 1,000 horsepower engine, so this thing can really move, and it's called the Fcm-50t because it weighs 50 tons. So 1,000 horsepower, 50-ton tank. You can expect some great mobility from this vehicle. Next, we have the 90mm DCA-45 cannon with 8 rounds per minute, which is very high already for a heavy tank. This is more than something like a Centurion 7, just a Centurion 1 has. 212 millimeters of penetration with 240 average damage, and that goes up to 259 millimeters of penetration with premium ammo, and then 45 millimeters of pen with HE with 320 damage, 2.29 second aim time, 0.36 accuracy. So pretty solid gun stats. And next we see the traverse 40 degrees, which for a heavy tank at tier 8 is extremely good. Now here's where we start getting into a little bit of bad. Turret armor is only 120 at the front, 80 on the side, 60 at the rear. And that will really, we will really notice that in tier 8 and 9 games. If the enemy is smart, they will butter your turret. It has 36 degrees second traverse, which is great, and 400 meters view range. Also great, 750 meters signal range. Pretty average, pretty great. Alright, so next we will go ahead and move on into what crew skills I would recommend for this tank. I really don't have my crew built up yet, but I already know what I'm going to do. Obviously, go with 6th Sense right off the bat. Do not want to be left without that 6th Sense. Next, I would recommend doing repairs, and then after that, Brothers in Arms, and then anything after that is really your own personal preference. I've noticed this tank has kind of a fragile ammo rack, so maybe you might want to go with the ammo rack perk, safe stowage. Also, you might want to go with any of these off-road driving, controlled impact, or clutch braking. This thing is quite a rammer. It weighs 50 tons, and it can get up to quite a hefty amount of speed. So any medium tanks around you are in grave danger if you're ramming. And off-road driving and clutch braking will always help heavy tanks, even though this tank doesn't really need clutch braking. So I would recommend off-road driving. And next, let's go ahead and move into the equipment. The equipment is pretty standard on most of my heavy tanks. I choose to run a large caliber tank gun rammer because this thing is technically a heavy tank, even though it only has a 90mm gun. Improved vents and vertical stabilizers. Now you can choose to put coated optics if you plan to play this thing very much like a medium, but I like vents because it always helps the DPM a little bit, and this thing already has great view range anyways. So that's why I go with that. And for consumables, once again, this is a very personal choice, but I choose to run with 75 AP rounds, 12 APCR, 4 HE. This thing holds a lot of ammo. You are looking at about 91 rounds here. So don't worry about running out of ammo in this tank. You have plenty of it. And consumables, I just run, small everything. You can choose to run premium consumables because this tank does make a very good amount of credits, as you will see soon. Alright guys, well that is the garage review of the tank. I'm just going to give you my quick opinions on it. As I said earlier, this thing plays a lot more like a medium tank. It can side scrape well. It has, if we look here, 80 millimeters of armor all the way around the tank, which is not that bad. It does not have good camo though, so don't expect to be sneaky in this thing unless you have a lot of bushes to cover you. But with 80 millimeters of side armor and quite large tracks, you can side scrape a little bit. However, I would recommend using the gun depression of this tank. I want to say this tank has 7 to 8 degrees of gun depression. I am not 100% certain on that, but it has good enough gun depression. And like I said, I would most compare this tank to a VK-4502A, except this time your gun is better, you are faster, you have 1,500 hit points, which is a little less than some of the other tier 8 heavies, but I think the mobility and medium likeness of this tank greatly, I guess, equals out the slight HP deficiency. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you in the garage, and let's now move over. And here we are on everybody's favorite map on port. And also, one thing I did not mention in the garage review, which I can't believe I forgot, is that this thing gets preferential matchmaking, which is why I like it so much. Because if you saw the gun stats, you'd be wondering why the hell does this thing get preferential matchmaking. Usually tanks that have preferential matchmaking, like an IS-6, usually have around 175 pen at max. You know, some of the tanks hover around 185, but no, this thing has 212 with AP and nearly 260 with APCR. So this is one of those tanks that I literally have no idea why it has premium matchmaking, but hey, it does. And another thing, this is quite an expensive premium. It's in the high 11,000 range, so this is about a $50 premium tank. So you are paying your tax for that premium matchmaking. But this is actually my first match in the tank, if I'm not mistaken. First or second. So we're coming up here on port down the 2 line. Gonna try to use the gun oppression a little bit. Like I said, the gun oppression is good, but it's not the best. And here doing some pro auto aiming. And yep, it misses, because that's what happens when you try to auto aim. And now I'm looking for some shots on this Pershing. Just have a sliver, see if I can land that. The .36 accuracy, while it is not bad, it is definitely not great. So don't be expecting to hit too many long-range shots like this. We'll be sneaking in the Pershing for a nice 203 damage. And this is the nice thing about the FCM. With you know, a fully trained crew and the equipment that I recommended you guys buy, you have just over a 6.1 second reload. This is a heavy tank. And with 212 millimeters of pen, you can be expecting to be landing a lot of your shots. Though we haven't been landing many shots this game. See the T-25AT. Don't really want to get shot by his 105 millimeter gun. I think the Sherman's about to get shot by him, but I'm more focused on the hill over to my left. And then that's when I noticed there's a little tiger right there. I think you guys know what's about to happen. Surprise, Air 6. And yep, the Sherman has the same exact idea as I do. I sit my fat ass on him, and he is now dead. Fair enough, that was a horrible trade, because now I have to go against a KV-4 and an IS-3. So now I have to be very careful. And now here's where I'm going to try out the side-scraping potential for this tank. Looking for the IS-3's frontal plate. I don't manage to penetrate that shot, but I'm here doing some side-scraping. Put one right into his upper plate there for a nice over 200 damage. And already, in about 6 seconds, we are ready to fire again. We just hit his lower plate at too much of an angle. He decided to come back up. I think we get penetrated by him here. Oh, nope, he is not looking at us. I shoot the beak like an idiot. I'm having some trouble traversing these tracks, so that's probably why I'm missing. And yep, I hit the track again, and it bounces the tank up. This is why I am a total scrub. Alright, there we go. We finally connected another shot. Realistically, this IS-3 should have been dead already by me, but I'm just too horrible to kill him. And yep, we connected another shot, a nice 208 damage. These low 200 rolls are kind of annoying because the tank's average damage, as we said in the garage, is 240, but, you know, they're still very satisfying because you can just lay out damage very quickly in this tank. We bounce our last shot on him. Now the KV-4 looks like he wants a piece. Have to be careful for this KV-4, though. If he's using the 107mm, he has very good penetration and 310 average damage, which is actually pretty high. Because I'm only on 684 health, but I'm just spotting him right now. My two RDs are beating up on him. I'm looking for that shot, see if I can shoot through the wall. Yep, I do, but I don't manage to penetrate a penetrating shot. RDs are just beating up on him, and he pens him with this 122mm. I managed to bounce the IS-3, surprisingly, considering the IS-3 has a better 122mm. Put one into the IS-3 for 236. And I think I can put another one into him before he even reloads, but my Panther 2 friend manages to take him out. So far this game, the fact that I've already played like an idiot and lost more than half my health just for sitting on somebody, and we're still alive and doing pretty well, I think just speaks true to this tank. Because in this game, I really was playing stupid, and it has compensated me for it, but alas, the KV-4 takes me out. But I guess I'm showing you guys this game just to show you that the FCM, I mean, it's a pretty good heavy tank if you can get it into good position, side-scraping and using your gun depression. And being able to use your DPM. Your DPM is going to be your best friend in this tank. You can really outplay other Tier 8 heavies, and you can even brawl Tier 8 mediums. While I don't recommend you do that, you definitely have the capacity to. And I think the reason why I included this section of the game is this is just funny. The Type 59 and KV4 dirt battle right here. There you go. There you go. You got him. But yeah, for the first, like I said, this is my first or second game in the tank. Pretty fun game. I remember now, this is my second game in the tank. And for a first impression, or a second impression rather, it was really quite fun. And I think I'm really going to enjoy this tank as a premium. And just, quickly thank you to Wargaming, and especially Saberwing, for hooking me up with this tank. For helping out with the WCT tourney. Wargaming is very impressed by that, and they gave me a free premium tank of my choice. So I chose that Fcm-50t because I was just morbidly curious about it. And lo and behold, the last two enemies are AFK in the spawn, which is just odd. One top tier TD and one tier 7 TD, both AFK in spawn. And yep, there are their gamer tags. Now I remember why I included this, but yeah. Just look out for these guys if you ever see him in game. And then the Yak Panther 2 magically comes back and just tries to, I guess, get a shot on the Pershing, but he dies very quickly. So while that wasn't the best game in the world, it was just more of a fun game to show you guys. And we picked up a nice 79,220 credits for only 2,000 damage. And about 1,000 assistance. So with an average game like that, you can still pick up about 80 grand. And that's after paying off for all your ammo and such. So that is pretty good in my book. We did 863 damage to that tiger just by sitting on him. And yep, I bet he feels very molested. Alright guys, heading into our next game on Mines. This one's a little bit more of the typical reviewer stuff. This is one of my better games in this tank. No, no shenanigans. And I actually managed to get in this game with one of my regular Twitch I can't even speak. With one of my regular Twitch followers, I guess you could say. He ends up being in the Super Pershing, so me and him are gonna go ahead and head up to the middle. Yep, that's him right there. I actually didn't know it until the end of the game whenever he sent me a message, so big thank you to him. If it wasn't for him, I undoubtedly would have died in the middle of the map just from being overran. So already here you can see we're heading to the middle at 50 kilometers an hour plus. And that's the great thing about the FCM. So, it's not lightning fast. It's not medium tank fast like some other mediums. But it is way faster than most tier 8 heavies. Faster than the VK4502A that I would say it relates to. So already here in the middle, I'm looking for some connecting shots. The Panther sees me. I bounce off the Panther and he pins me right through that butter turret. As I said, you gotta watch out for that. The Comet's firing some APCR rounds at us, but we put one right into his side. Here comes the T-69. This is one guy I'm very worried about. Ghost gets the tracking shot on him. I try and get another tracking shot, and now this T-69 is in a lot of trouble, but he manages to back up before he takes any more damage. I try and track the VK, but I put a nice one into him for about 200. And yep, the enemy have really won the hill here. Now I gotta put some damage into this Comet. This guy's very dangerous because he is spamming premium ammo. And while the Comet usually only has average pen at 170, with premium rounds, that shoots up to over 200 millimeters of pen. That's very dangerous for the Super Pershing and myself. So I'm really worried about this Comet. He bounces one off me, but I'm trying to put some shots into the VK because the VK is trying to kill our light tank, and the Comet kills our gunner. And you saw how slow our turret traverse got whenever our gunner got killed. So if your gunner gets killed, your gunner does control turret traverse. The T-69 comes out. For some reason, doesn't focus down the Super Pershing. I put a shot into him, and I bounce his return shot. So as you can see, the side armor of this tank is actually pretty decent. We've bounced a lot of shots off our side. We've really only been getting penetrated through our turret, and as I said earlier, there's a major weak spot. I've managed to bounce off the VK. I really rushed that shot. I could have aimed it a little bit more, but, my error. So right now, we are heavily outnumbered here in the middle. It is mainly the Super Pershing and I holding it down. We got some TD support behind us, and me and the Super Pershing are trying to hold it down. I really want to kill this VK. I put one into the VK for a nice 240 roll. And one more shot, and he'll be out of this game, but he's really backing off now. He does not want to get shot by us, which gives me perfect room to start beating up on these tier 6 tanks. So I see I can't quite get the gun depression here. It's pretty risky to be doing what I'm doing. The Super Pershing looking for the VK, and our team is flanking the enemy team now. So I'm going to go ahead and move around the rock and try to get some more damage in. You see the KV2, we see the VK. We went into the VK for a nice 200 plus roll. And you see the VK is even penning through our front plate, which, while it is 120 millimeters thick, it is not well angled. So you really have to side scrape in this tank. We went into the KV2's bottom of the turret. He fires an HE shell at us, doesn't do too much damage. And now we're going to go ahead and take him out of the game once we get our track repaired. I don't have a fully trained crew on this, fully trained repair crew on this tank yet, so that's a bit of a burden. Went into the KV2, don't need to aim it much. And lastly, we have this Panther left up here, who is probably very sad. I auto-aim like a noob again and managed to donk it into the T-69's hole. I'm trying to track the Panther, and the track somehow eats my shot, so fabulous result there. I'm going to get one more into him for a nice 230 roll, and he's about to be out of this game. KV4 is next, and a little bit of a rush shot by me, and I lose the kill. So far, this has been a pretty decent game. Me and the Super Pershing really held up the middle there against a lot of enemy tanks. Our side armor worked pretty well, but our turret armor let us down as I would expect it to. And the whole armor of this tank didn't do us much favors either. We auto-aim, land a nice 234 roll on that T-20, and now the Super Pershing is really screwed back there. We're going to get one more shot into him. Hope we get a critical hit. No damage, though. Let me take him out. Pretty good game, and thank you to that Super Pershing for being there and helping me out. So this is where you're going to see the money-making potential of this tank. We finished with 163,000 credits, 4,646 XP, with nearly 2,900 damage, just a little bit of assistance, 15 penetrating shots, and this is why I would recommend you get this tank. It is very, very good. It is a great moneymaker, and quite frankly, it's just a very solid tank overall. I don't see too many drawbacks to this tank besides the bad turret armor and the bad hull armor, but in my opinion, it is more of a medium anyways. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this tank review and the gameplay that was shown in it. If you did, consider giving the video a like and, comment if you liked the video. It really will help me out on the channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Peace.